time will be Bob Murray at one spot.
Side.
Bannerman almost turned it into his goal.
Well, Bannerman was way out of the net, Bruce, and he thought when it went by him that it might go in the net.
So did I. The two centermen, Ludzik and Foster, waved out of the face-off circle now, so the play stays to the left of the Chicago goal. They whistled it down, so we'll go through it again. This afternoon, 2 games played. Quebec shutting out St. Louis 5-0. And Washington, losing yesterday to Detroit, went into Hartford today and beat the Whalers 4-3. Here now, Colin Campbell fired a shot that goes just wide. Jeff Larmer took it off the boards, bats it back to center ice. Now John Barrett ahead to Foster. Foster took a bump along the boards from Keith Brown, then Brown was belted. Play came back into the Detroit zone. A quick shot by Ludzik, and Steffen drives that away. Right back down the ice now is Mann. The Wings are peppering away for a while.
Chicago had a great chance, too, and
Bruce Martin along with Sid Abel, our producer, director Toby Cunningham at Chicago Stadium. Little over 4 minutes have gone by in a rapidly paced first period with no score. Now Murray of Chicago drives the puck back into the Detroit zone. Held in along the boards by Kurt Fraser. They still struggle after it. Fraser put it right through the goal mouth. It came back to the blue line. There's Murray with a shot. Steffen knocks it away, and Gare tips it ahead, but a penalty coming up to the...
And they changed defense from Larson and Ladouceur to Smith and Colin Campbell.
Steve Ludzik comes on now to face Dunlop right in the center ice area. The Hawks gain control. Keith Brown at his own blue line for Chicago. Again shooting it in behind the Detroit goal, and again Steffen stops it, and Steffen lifts it off the glass. It stopped at the blue line by Fraser. Kurt Fraser played it into the corner, but it's broken up there, and Greg Smith again fires at the length of the ice, and Ben Wilson will come back after it. 20 seconds left in the Detroit penalty. Now Wilson heads out again for Chicago. Ben Wilson from center ice drives it in behind the Detroit goal. Ludzik holding it in the corner. Colin Campbell bumped him. It's loose in front of the goal. Steffen cleared it off to the side. Now the Hawks still with possession. Here's Jeff Larmer. Larmer's pass deflected away by Greg Smith and cleared center ice by Dunlop, and the Wings are back at full.
Go kiss it, the one that never lets you down. Go kiss it, the most refreshing taste around. Go kiss it.
We've played 6.5 minutes of the first period.
Now they're still mixed here because now they have Dunlop, Ogrodnik, and Lambert out on a line that does not play together.
Now Greg Smith fired the puck. It's held in at the blue line. There's Keith Brown with a shot knocked away by Steffen. Play held in. Gardner shot it in behind the Detroit goal. Bounced off a stick, but it's picked off by Dunlop. He failed to work it out. Now the Hawks applying pressure. Dennis Sear and Brad Park fight for it. Sear played it in behind the goal. It's still deep in the corner. Gardner goes in after it. Now Gardner put it right to the goal mouth, and Dunlop came in, deflected that away, and Dunlop is going to shoot at the length of the ice. Well, this will give the Wings a chance to change lines.
Close to putting the puck in the net, but he had Steffen down on his side over in the corner of the net.
Now the face-off will be just over the Chicago blue line. Foster, Gare, and Mano remain on with Campbell and Barrett. Ludzik, Fraser, and Jeff Larmer now the forward line of the Chicago Blackhawks. Dave Feimster will skate it out center ice from the Detroit bench. A quick change, but here's Jeff Larmer going right in, and Steffen stopped him. Larmer just split the defense that time, skated right in while the Red Wings were making a player change. But Steffen stayed with him. Now the play stays in the Detroit zone. Colin Campbell scooped it up the right side. It's still in the Detroit end. Loisel gains control. He ran into the referee. Here's a pass out in front of the Detroit net. Steffen made the save. And the puck still loose in the Red Wings zone. A backhand shot, and they score. Cutting in O'Callahan. That's a strange goal, but O'Callahan finally gets it.
And the play started by a play that hit the referee right at the blue line and stayed inside. But this crowd is making such noise now, but the puck was underneath Steffen, then rolled out, and a backhand shot found the net. And I'm not sure who scored, but Steffen did make a save on the first play.
Brad Park really arguing with the referee out at center ice.
Well, the play hit, and when he come in, Greg Steffen made an unbelievable save on the break-in, but...
What did that, what announced the break-in, the Red Wings are trying to make a player change right after the puck had been dropped, and they were caught. Now the play goes back into the Chicago zone, roll right to the goal mouth. Bannerman drops it in behind his own goal. Buck came back to the line. Park held it in there, gives it to Lane Lambert. Beamster left it in the corner. Steve Ludwig has it. Played it ahead. Kurt Fraser just shoots it all the way back into the Detroit zone. There'll be an icing call as Greg Smith is back to touch it. Play will come back into the Chicago end.
Fourth of the season, scored by number 5, Jack O'Callahan. Assisted by number 10, Jeff Larmer, and number 8, Kurt Fraser.
Well, the Hawks have been hot at home, and when they've scored...
Be your local AMC Jeep Renault dealer. Hurry! Celebration ends March 17th.
Now for Ivan Boldarev, he has really been playing. That's his 6th goal. He's got 11 assists in the last 8 games. Now the puck driven back into the Chicago zone. Bannerman comes out of the net, cleared it along the boards. He ran into his own defenseman and fell down. Back into the goal now. Here's Rick McLeish digging it out in behind the goal. Pulled away from one check. Lays it into the corner. Lane Lambert has it there. Lambert bumped off the puck. He still got it loose, but the Hawks will pick it up, and Ludwig goes in behind his own goal. Steve Ludwig had it tipped away. Lambert got it loose, but covering up now, Doug Wilson. Ben Wilson. Wilson of Chicago shooting it back into the Detroit zone. A penalty coming up now. There'll be an interference call this time. The TV 50, 8 o'clock movie.
Encore. Amazing.
The one to watch, the one to watch.
All tied up at 1-1. Murray Bannerman in goal for Chicago. Greg Steffen for Detroit. The Chicago Blackhawks all tied at 1-1. The end of the first period. We'll be back after we pause for this.
Right.
Earlier. So the Red Wings with a minute and a half gone by here in the second period lead the game 2-1. Yzerman's 32nd goal of the season and a big assist for Brad Park, along with Ogrodnik, because Brad Park now just 1 assist away from Bobby Orr's all-time record for defensemen. The Hawks have the play back in their own zone, and they come down the right side. Now it's flipped ahead. Ludwig got over the line. He was upended. Hawks hold the play in the Detroit end. Off to the side of the net. A bouncing puck and steered away, and now a penalty coming up to Detroit. On the delayed call, Chicago lifting their goaltender, but here comes a holding call against the Wings. And this, I think, might have been a make-good here in the second period.
Well, Chicago run players out in front of the net when they get in deep, and John Barrett was caught for just trying to take a player out, right out in front of Greg Steffen.
Foster bangs the puck out to center ice. Bob Murray will drive it right back in. Along the boards, Larson got a stick on it. Mano chases it into the corner. Played it back of his own goal. Randy Ladouceur has Foster moving up the ice. The pass just missed him. Goes the length of the ice, and Doug Wilson will play it in behind his own goal. Now Wilson starts back for Chicago. They have the extra man for a minute 35. Wilson again drives it deep into the Detroit zone. Foster upended his man there. Play intercepted by Bob Mano. Mano didn't get it out. Now here's Chicago moving it right out in front. And Steffen came up with a big save as Jeff Larmer cut right in. Ludwig holds it in the Detroit zone. Now Steve Ludwig lays it back on the blue line for Doug Wilson. Back to Ludwig in the circle. Ludwig dumped by Reed Larson. Ladouceur takes his man in along the boards. That's Foster. They hold it there. Rather Fraser comes back to Murray. Murray with a drive, and that's deflected off to the side of the goal. Jeff Larmer sends it back to Wilson at the blue line. Play broken up by Larson, and Foster has it. Foster sweeps it ahead, and Bob Mano chases it into the Chicago zone. Mano looking around, drives it back. It came center ice, and Ladouceur had to hold it in there. Randy Ladouceur played it back in. Here's Duguay cutting right in. Duguay went by the goal and then hit the side of the net with it. Bannerman may have got a piece of it, but what a chance for Ron Duguay.
He should have shot it sooner.
He just moved in too close. Now coming right back down.
Tied Philadelphia. It's now Islanders.
This bud's for you.
Danny Gare hands it back to Park. Now Park has Greg Smith moving out. Here's Smith coming out center ice, carrying over the line. Greg Smith hands it back to Gare with a drive, and Bannerman kicks that away. Mano couldn't hold it in, and coming out with it now Ludwig. Ludwig sends it off to the side of the Detroit net. Right Foster up on the right side, took a bump from Kurt Fraser, but the Wings come out with it. Greg Smith, a long pass for Mano, and that'll be called down for icing. Wings lead it 3-1. From our angle, it looked like Ladouceur, but the puck actually caught just the bare inside of the goalpost and ended up in behind Bannerman. So goals by Yzerman and Mano here in the second period, and the Wings move into a 2-goal lead. Bob Mano's 8th goal of the year. Now
No
the
doubt
Hawks have a
Lannister will get an assist on it, as will Gere.
play comes down the ice. Greg Smith had it tipped away. Kelly Kissio took a whack at it, and Bolderev scoops it back into the Chicago zone. That goes right to Bannerman. He hands it off to his defenseman, Feemster. Now Steve Ludzik will take it all the way in behind his own net. We've played 9 minutes of the second period. The Hawks coming out of their own zone as Ludzik lugs it out to center ice. He's slowed up by Brad Park, and Smith takes over for Detroit. Now the Wings with a 3-man rush, but it's knocked away at the blue line by O'Callahan. O'Callahan of Chicago back to Fraser. Fraser into the Detroit zone. Here's Fraser. The pass knocked away by McLeish, and a shot from the line by Feemster. Steffen kicked that out. They go into the corner. Jeff Larmer off the side of the net. A centering pass broken up by Brad Park, but here's O'Callahan taking it into the corner. O'Callahan checked there by Greg Smith. Foster sends it up the left side, and Bolderev takes a whack as he passes it out to center ice. And Jeff Larmer bowled over Bolderev. Now the Hawks will bring it back. Here's Kurt Fraser with a long drive. Steffen deflects that away. Ludzik goes in after it, but Greg Smith got there first, and Brad Park will play it. Park makes a move away from one man, comes out center right. The great hockey fan, Sid, who kind of works business owners with pleasure from time to time when he can, is Rick Brown, who is here watching this game tonight.
Yes. New York Islanders 3, Philadelphia 3 in the third period. St. Louis nothing, Quebec 5. That was this afternoon.
Now here we have the Red Wings leading this game by a score of 3-1 as the play goes back into the Chicago end. Bannerman has lost his goaltending stick. He gets it back now, handed to him by his defenseman. Played in behind the Chicago net into the corner. Duguay hands it back now to Dunlop. Blake Dunlop played it back to the Chicago net again, so Callahan goes in after it. John Barrett couldn't get to it, and it's fired back into the Detroit zone. Colin Campbell being chased by Ludzik. Campbell left it there for Barrett. John Barrett came out in front of his own net. It was knocked away, but Barrett covers up and scoops it back out center ice. Ludzik and Barrett had the sticks up high. Now here's O'Callahan trying to get loose. Ludzik played it in behind the Detroit goal. Steffen stopped it in back of his own net. McLeish tipped the puck. It didn't come out. Barrett in the corner again. Took another whack at it. This time held it at the line. It'll be taken now by Dunlop. He's got Duguay with him. Here's Dunlop. Played it into the Chicago end. The Hawks break it up there. And the Wings bring it in again. Here is Duguay. His pass knocked down. Right back down the ice, Ludzik. Ludzik fired a bouncing shot wide of the Detroit net. Steffen played it in.
Emery, fast door-to-door service, trusted worldwide.
At 18:45.
A bench penalty to the Wings, period. So with the score, and then Nick Polano, producer-director Toby Cunningham here at the Chicago Stadium, where the Detroit Red Wings are leading the Hawks 3-1 after 2 periods of play. Let's take a look at all 15 of the Chicago shots. The third period haven't won this season.
Yes, but I mean, here they are, though they have an advantage of 40.
Red Wings lead it 3-1, and now both teams are at full strength. Kissio, McLeish, and Lambert, the forward line of the Wings. Puck slides along the boards. Digging after it was Kurt Fraser. Sent it out center ice. McLeish knocks it down for the Wings. Played it back in, and now Fraser brings it back for Chicago. Into the Detroit zone, and it's knocked back out to the center ice area. Fraser drives it back in. McLeish in and along the boards in the corner. Gets some help from Barrett. Barrett pulled away from the check up the left side. Kissio was bumped there. Still picks it up and cleared it off the boards to the center ice area. Dave Feemster comes back after it. We're at the 3-minute mark of the third period. The Hawks fired all the way back into the Detroit zone. Barrett will go in behind his own goal. John Barrett knocked down. And there's a penalty coming. Bolderev, the Wings all at center ice. So Larson,
Greg Steffen, but was cut.
Foster and Mano, again the penalty killers up front. The Wings fired into the Chicago zone, and now the Hawks bring it back. Cleared along the boards on the right side, and Dwight Foster moved in, took it away. He and Mano coming back, but Foster drops it back for Greg Smith. Eating up time, and then Smith lifts it the rest of the way back into the Chicago zone. They've used up a half a minute of the penalty to Larson. Now it is Doug Wilson coming back down the ice. Wilson shooting it in behind the Detroit goal. Steffen stops it there. Mano played it over on the right side. Here come the Wings 2-on-1. Mano and Campbell. Mano over the line. Fakes the shot. Gives it to Campbell, and he hits the goal post. Colin Campbell drove it off the goal post. It could have been a short-handed goal. Right back down the ice, Campbell knocked it away from Fraser, and then the Hawks bring it in offside. 10 minutes to play, third period. Ben Wilson. Wilson Slides it back into the Detroit zone. Colin Campbell made a move after it. Goes into the corner. Yzerman. Steve Yzerman has it. Yzerman a long pass just too far for Duguay. And Bannerman came out of his net to play it away. Scoops it back center ice, and Colin Campbell drives it right back in. Murray knocked it down with a high stick. They'll stop the play and keep a face-off at the Chicago line. Little more than 9 minutes to play in the third period. 4-1 Detroit. Will be back in just two because he kind of quarterbacks that power play.
There's no doubt about it. Earlier in the season, and Brad was getting an awful lot of play and was tired. There were times that he didn't get things going quite as fast as he could, but the power play now has just been beautiful to watch.
So the play stays now to the left of the Detroit goal. The teams are at full strength. The Wings lead by 3, and the puck bounces down the ice back into the Chicago zone as Bob Murray hurries back after it. Ivan Boldarev chasing him, but here's Jeff Larmer. Shot it to the Detroit line. Larson knocked it away. It slides back into the Detroit end. On a delayed offside, Yzerman shot it back center ice, and the Hawks shoot it back in again. Steffen hands it back to his defenseman, Reed Larson. Larson flipped it along the boards. The Hawks trying to hold it in. Ludwig did. Here's Jeff Larmer, but Ladouceur moved in, took it away. Randy Ladouceur's pass comes all the way back into the Chicago zone. It'll be another icing call as Wilson's back to touch it, and we have 8 minutes and 14 seconds to play. Here's Troy Murray and Lane Lambert, and Lambert whips that right hand in, and now Murray comes back with a few of his own, and the two of them going at it tooth and nail right down below us. Lambert and Murray, then Lambert goes to the ice. Murray falls down on top of him, and the two linesmen get into it. The two of them were going at it tooth and nail, and so they'll both go off with the time of the penalties at 12 and a half minutes.
They both were hit.
10 seconds. Duguay over the line. We're in the third period. And the Hawks again shoot it back to the Detroit zone, and Ladouceur sends it back out center ice. Here's Chicago's Bob Murray shooting it in behind the Detroit goal. Ladouceur into the corner after it, in behind the Detroit goal. Up the right side, Duguay. He ties up Doug Wilson. Ludwig held it in, then it's knocked away by Yzerman. Steve Yzerman chases with Murray. Murray took the whack at it, and Ludwig back in his own zone. Giving it now to Murray. Bob Murray drives it in behind the Detroit goal, and Steffen will stop it there. Greg Steffen laid it off to Ladouceur. The Hawks hold it in. Now Boldarev takes it, and Ivan Boldarev swings it out. Center ice for Larson. He's got Yzerman up the left side. Larson drilled a shot over the top of the goal. And Fraser takes it off the boards. 5 minutes, 20 seconds to play. Third period, 4-1 Detroit. Now here is O'Callahan backing into the Detroit zone.
Pretty well killing any chances now that Chicago may have.
Reed Larson trying to work it out of his own zone, and now Jeff Larmer knocked down. The crowd didn't like that. The Hawks bring it back in. Here's Ben Wilson digging into the Detroit zone. Took a shot off the side of the Detroit goal. Brad Park sent it ahead. Boldarev had trouble with it. The Hawks, Jeff Larmer turning with it. His brother in the penalty box. The Hawks have the short man, but they have the play right out in front. Oh, Steffen came out and robbed Keith Brown. Puck lying loose, and now a penalty coming up.
Steffen thought he had the puck, Bruce, and it was behind him. But look at the
Ben
Detroit's going to get
Wilson
a penalty
coming in with a stick up high. I believe it may be Brad Park.
He's going to get the penalty, I would think so.
That the penalty will be called against Detroit. We have 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in the third period.
A wild, wild melee in front. Greg Steffen coming up with a big save, and the puck bounced through him and
Larson
was in behind his back. And then is when all the melee started, everybody trying to get at the loose puck. Greg thought he had it, and first thing you know, Park and Larson, and it was Larson getting the penalty.
Each team short a man as Reed Larson goes off for holding. 17 minutes and 10 seconds. On the subject of holding, if the Wings can do that and hold on to this lead.
Now there's the case where the shot, Bruce. Greg Steffen has just been unbelievable tonight, coming out and making saves, and he thought that he had the puck frozen, and it was sitting right in behind him, but Chicago couldn't put it in the empty net.
As we started to say, if the Wings can hold on to this 3-goal lead, they will move into second place in the Norris Division, a point ahead of Chicago, and 4 points ahead of the fourth place St. Louis Blues. And Toronto losing tonight to Vancouver. At least they're behind 4-2. Wings didn't get it out, and there's Wilson at the goal post, and it's a goal. It bounced in behind Greg Steffen, and now it's 4-2.
Well, this was a mistake Greg Smith fell, and as he fell, he tried to clear the puck, and he put it right back out to the point man.
Still, it didn't go in by much.
No, and he just slid it out. He slid. The shot hit the post, bounced back and hit somebody else, then went over the line. And Greg Stefan dished it out, but it did cross the line. When it bounced off the post, it must have hit Lattiser or someone out in front because it bounced back. But now the Wings have to be careful that they don't come back and get another quick one.
Play right back into the Detroit zone. Lifted in behind the Detroit net. The Hawks have the pressure on. Greg Smith broke it up. Van Smith bats it out to center ice. Boldarev in a race with Brown, and Boldarev picks up the puck in the Chicago end. Boldarev hands it off to Yzerman. Steve Yzerman playing with it. Goes into the corner. Here's Yzerman. He was grabbed from behind, and the Hawks come up with it. Larmer sends it up the left side, or rather it was Ludwig. Over the line now. Here is Jeff Larmer trying to work in, and Yzerman intercepted but didn't get it out. Doug Wilson holds it in, but Boldarev blocked his shot, and it comes out center ice. Now in 35 seconds, the Hawks are going to have the extra man for a little more than half a minute. Puck driven, 4 defenders out in front of Stefan, a second remaining in Larson's penalty. And the play deep in the Detroit zone. The Wings leading by a goal. Lysiak in against Dunlop. Dunlop won the face-off, and Lattiser drives it off the right side, and Larson comes out of the penalty box, picks it up, and missed the open net. He cleared it off the goal post and just hit the side of the post. What a chance he had. Puck back into the Detroit zone. It's bouncing around there. Lattiser didn't get it out. The Wings still don't get it out. It's in behind the Detroit net. Came right out in front. And Dunlop took a whack and couldn't move it out. But now Landy Lattiser brought it to the line. Still they don't get it out. 20 seconds in the period. Foster deflected it. It's still out in the Detroit zone, though. Lysiak bumping into Campbell. Foster intercepts and drives it to the line. Doug Wilson held it in. Now here's Gardner. Gardner takes it to the circle, put it right through the goal crease. Here's Wilson with a drive, and that's knocked away by Stefan. Goes into the corner, just 2 seconds to go. Lattiser takes it to the boards and holds it, and the hockey game is over. And the Detroit Red skate off with a 4-2 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks and move on now to Quebec. Our radio broadcast will be 7:25. That'll be Tuesday night from Quebec. Our next telecast a week from tomorrow. The following Monday when we'll be in Minnesota, Bloomington, Minnesota, with a game between the Red Wings and the Minnesota North Stars.